So the Rome final is set, and we've got Italy's main man, Jannik Sinner, that's right, up against one of the most reliable clay court players on tour in the last few years, Casper Ruud. And we've got Sinner chasing his first Rome title, and we've got Ruud into his first Rome final. Who is going to win? Stay tuned for my preview and prediction. That's right, and if you haven't done so yet, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get stuck into this because it is sort of the best two players on clay. This is how it should be, making the final, and they did it in completely different fashion. That has to be said. We had Casper Ruud cruising through his semi-final, and Jannik Sinner had to dig deep to find his way past a spirited Daniil Medvedev. And that is where we'll start. We'll start back to front. Jannik Sinner extending his long Masters match wins in the process. And he started like an absolute freight train against Daniil Medvedev, taking the first set 6-2. Clean ball striking, early returns, and aggressive baseline control. That was what we saw from Jannik, and we see it from him nearly every single match. But the first set was no exception. Medvedev rushed, was getting dragged all the way around the court, out of his comfort zone. But then the match turned around, and Medvedev became the first player all tournament to take a set from Jannik Sinner, grabbing the second 7-5. As Sinner started to feel the strain physically. And reports from the match describe Sinner dealing with cramps and discomfort before the rain suspended play, with the Italian leading 4-2 in that third and deciding set. But when they came back, Jannik Sinner just finished the job and made it 6 consecutive Masters 1000 finals, and became the second player after Rafael Nadal to reach the finals of Monte Carlo, Madrid, and Rome in the same season. But the big question is, how much did that semi-final take out of him? Probably quite a lot, I would have thought, but he has good recovery skills. And on the other side, we had Casper Ruud. And Casper Ruud, well, after leaving the top 20, like Jose Morgado says here, he reacted like a true champion, qualified for his 4th Masters 1000 final, first in Rome, and easily beat Luciano Darderi. It was 6-1, 6-1. This was completely different to the other semi-final. He absolutely dismantled Darderi. 6-1, 6-1 is a scoreline with a signal of intent. He stayed calm through, near 2-hour rain delay, never allowed the Italian crowd to get the Italian back into the match. And Darderi just looked a bit drained. He's had an emotional week, some big 3-set matches where he's come through strong. Obviously beat Zverev, and the long one with Khadar that ended up quite late as well, the finish on that one. And Ruud just sensed it straight away, made him play loads of extra balls, dominated with his forehand, and it was a real physical match from Casper Ruud. And he didn't really have to do more than was necessary. Just was really, really secure in his game, just walloping that ball around. The top spin is just unreal from Casper Ruud. Every time I watch him play, I don't know how he does it. You see some players, they're a lot flatter. Him, it just kicks up off the surface. And with this heavy topspin and the high percentage, normally has quite a good serve as well on him, very consistent. He's now won a tour leading 140 clay court matches since the start of 2020. And this Rome run puts him back in the conversation as one of the most dangerous players heading into Roland Garros. And you've got to remember, his ranking isn't as high as his clay court pedigree. I think he's around 17 in the live rankings, which is terrible for anybody. When you're getting your quarter drawn, you definitely don't want him in your quarter, that's for sure. Heading into this final, we know that Casper Ruud and Jannik Sinner, they've played each other 4 times before, and it is not pretty reading for Casper Ruud. 4 love. And the last 2 matches they played were dominant. I mean, we all remember the one from last year in Rome in the quarterfinals, 6-love, 6-1. It was an absolute destruction. It was one of those matches where we invented the saying, "You've been Jannik Sinnered," because he really was. And Ruud was even laughing after that one, I remember. But that match matters a lot because it showed the tactical problems for Ruud. His heavy topspin forehand, which normally hurts his opponents, it just sits perfectly in Sinner's strike zone. And if Ruud lands short, Sinner just steps in, takes the ball early. Ruud tries to rally cross court for too long. Sinner just redirects it down the line and opens the court. So for Ruud, this final is not about just playing well. It's about just changing all the patterns as well. So if we have a look at the keys to victory for Casper Ruud in this final. So let's go to their little graphic. So keys to victory for Casper Ruud. If he just continues with that method, looping the ball into Sinner's strike zone, he will be in trouble. Has to use height, depth, angles, and maybe the occasional backhand line to stop Sinner camping on the baseline. The serve is massive. He can't afford too many second serve into Sinner's return zone. Needs cheap points, body serves, wide patterns to open up the first forehand. But most importantly, Ruud has to drag Sinner into a real long rally. He needs to get him in that same state I think he was in against Daniil Medvedev. Make him defend, make him bend, make him play an extra ball in every rally, physically drain him in this match. Is Sinner, when he becomes compromised, that's when Ruud's clay court dominance, let's say, it could be like a clay court endurance test that Ruud might be able to win. He needs to make it physical, extend the rallies, and then if Sinner, if he can stop him attacking him early, then he might have some success. But on Sinner's side, it's pretty much the opposite. Take all the time away from Ruud. Don't let him settle into like classic clay court rhythms, heavy forehand, grinding rallies. Just step inside, attack the second serve, and yeah, especially off the backhand side. And the other key is just to have a great first serve and a great strike after his serve as well. If he lands a good first serve, gets the first forehand, he can keep Ruud pinned, prevent him from setting up anything big for that inside-out forehand. But there is one danger, the body. Exactly. That's the one big danger for Jannik Sinner. He can't afford to start slow. Doesn't want a 3-hour physical match. Needs to keep the points short, use the crowd, and make it about precision more than just survive the rallies. So if Sinner wins, he controls the court position and keeps Ruud defending. So let's see how he's able to implement that game plan. And if he does implement that game plan, that will be the way he'll win this one. It really makes it more interesting, this final, because Casper Ruud probably needs a few more things in his favor, and that real quick semi-final will have helped. Jannik Sinner, longer match and didn't look physically as good. So the head-to-head, super one-sided in favor of Jannik Sinner. But no pressure on Casper Ruud. I don't think he's even won a set against Jannik Sinner so far. Does that mean he's just going to come in, play carefree, or is he going to be nervous? Is it going to be already defeated in his own mind? I think Casper Ruud, the way he's playing, it's a different stage of the tournament. That was in a quarterfinal. This is in a final. I think he's going to be in a much better headspace. He's not going to want to have those same things go wrong as last year. And I think he'll get a set if Sinner's body becomes an issue. If Sinner's healthy enough, though, his timing, return pressure, and if he maintains the ability to rob Ruud of time, it will probably decide it. I'll have to go for my pick. Do I see Jannik Sinner going for yet another Masters in a row, or can Casper Ruud upset him? And he wouldn't just upset him, he'd upset a lot of Italians in that stadium. I think personally it's going to be Jannik Sinner, but I do think it'll be in 3 sets. Maybe this stat has something to do with it. If Bastian Fucken put this one out, says Rafael Nadal, 14th, Roland Garros. His opponent in the final was Casper Ruud. Carlos Alcaraz, the youngest #1 male player ever. Final opponent, Casper Ruud. Novak Djokovic, record 23rd Grand Slam. Final opponent, Casper Ruud. And Jannik Sinner, potential Golden Masters. Final opponent, you got it, Casper Ruud. So if that doesn't add up in the history books, he seems to be on the wrong side of history, Casper Ruud, and always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Isn't that what they say? Well, maybe he will turn up and he will shock the world in Rome. But let me know in the comment section if you think he will, or are you with me? Do you think Jannik Sinner is going to claim yet another Masters title? I want to know your thoughts, so pop them in that comment. And if you haven't done so yet, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.